Hello, Professor. My name is Chintan Ghevariya, student ID 1012363661. So, this is assignment 3, and I'm just gonna quickly go over this assignment. Like, there are 30 questions that I had to attend in order to get the marks. So, I don't want to waste time on this question, so I'll just quickly go to the assignment 3. So, here I have uploaded the test file so I can take the test file using panda pd, because I'm importing the panda here as a pd. The first one says import the test file in make a data frame, so I'm making my df of data frame, and over here I'm showing the first 5 lines using ILOC, and this one is to skip one row as one to skip the first row of this test CSV file. Here I'm changing the names of the columns, so ID, range, value, machine type, and zip code respectively. So you can see over here that's the name will change. The next one is just showing the data types of this columns respectively, object float and object again. And this one 6 one is showing the data type of data frame using type. So it's a data frame. Yeah, you can see here. This one is says showing only the data of value column, so it's of course the length is like 950 rows, so it's only showing first sum and the last sum of this, so using data frame of only the value column. And yeah, I'm using both method over here. One is for bracket one in single quote, and this is my dot value method to access that column. I can use both, but in some cases I cannot use the dot method. I'll show you here. So this is, I'm just checking the type of this is series, so I'm calling columns. It's a series in the Python language. Here I can only use this bracket method because it has a space in it, and wherever is space I cannot use the dot method. In the machine type column has the same issue. So in the next one I am just merging two series like machine type and the zip code, and naming a new one as a brand. So you can see over here it merge this two M and this one and become the brand kind of serial number. Over here I'm multiplying the range and the value and making a new column and name it as a total. So you can see here this is the range and this is value. It's multiplying 299 into 0.21, and this is the answer. So it's doing for all these columns, and you can see the result over here is a total. The next one is let me this function. Yeah, so it's just using the head method to display the first n rows. Like suppose 5 rows is returning just 5 rows from this data set, sorry, data frame. Yeah, and describe so describe statistics include those that summarize the central tendency, repression of the shape of data distribution, excluding known values, analyze both numeric and object series, as well as data frame column sets to mix data type. The output will vary depending on what is provided. And over here I'm not using this brackets after that. So describe, so this is the method itself. You can think of a pointer to method in some other languages. So df dot describe, like data frame dot describe with the columns, calls the method and return the result. Where you can see the difference over here. So my data frame dot like df dot shape is just returning number of columns and number of rows, 950 and 7. And my df dot d types, that will return all the data types of the columns, like suppose id, range, value, machine type, and all this data types of that. Well, yeah, using just particular chip code series like my data frame and the chip code and the describe, so it's just counting all the rows, and top is this one, and frequency and like data type you can see it. That's basically describe that series. Okay, so I'm just now renaming this id column to my id. Like it's not a permanent, I mean it's just temporary. Yeah, so it become my id for now, and I'm just showing, so it's id again. If I put the in place, then it will make it permanently, but I haven't put it right now. You can see I put the in place and just did the same thing again, so it will become permanent. So you can see over here my div, I'm doing again my df over here as well. Then it's again my id, and my id you can see the new name because of the in place I make the true. So I'm just doing the columns, I'm printing all the columns, so my id range on all the columns. Over here I'm just making again id, that was the previous one, and in place, so that will make it the permanent concrete true. So it's id again, and here I'm replacing column name with the wherever the space I told you in the, like first of all where yeah, zip code has a space and yeah, machine type has. So I'm just replacing the space with underscore with like my columns were string dot replace space with underscore, and permanently becomes string. I'm not using in place over here, so it just make the space. Over here I'm just dropping two columns that I created earlier on that csv file, brand and the total. Access is for the column. If I had to drop the row, I could have used access 0, and 1 is for row, sorry, 1 is for column, 0 is for row. This is in place true, so it will make it permanently delete. This is dropping 2, so basically it's line 3 and this is line 5, and in place true, that means it dropped just 2 lines from it. You can see here, and yeah, it's just sorting the value column based on the ascending order. So 10 is the smallest and 50 I believe is the largest one on the value one. And here I'm sorting the value based on the ascending number, and you can see over here the next one is like kind of permanent. I just put the in place to make it a permanent change, and ascending true. The next is sorting the value on the base of range and the value. So first priority will given to the range, and the next would be the value. And for the range it says ascending should be true, and for the value is supposed to follow the descending order. So I put the over here true for a range ascending, and false for a value. Okay, so it will do accordingly, like the range is here, so to from range, and it didn't follow that order on that one. So you can see over here the next one is just basically talking about the range, like display the numbers, or I mean display the rows which is between which was range is between 250 to 350. So I just used default range 250 and default range less than 350. So you can see from 2600 to the last one is 277. So basically there are 997 rows written. Okay, this is kind of same thing as the previous one, but just I'm sorting that by the range and making on the ascending order. So you can see over here 251 on the base, and the last one is 1059. Okay, so that's basically on the order page. Well, I over here just showing only 2 columns, doing the same thing for range, and just showing this id and the value column. So I just got the from my data frame.log, and this two columns, id and the value only. And this one I'm showing the range, but there has a certain condition, like the machine type of this rows has to match with h, so it has to be h type of machine, then it will show only those rows. So there are literally like 8 to 9 rows of that type, so it is show only id and the value column of that machine type h. Well, over here it says display those rows which df machine type is equal to h, r or x. So I just put the type isin. I just used isin, so it will use this r, h and x in context with this one, so it just return 101 rows upon that. And the last one is including it's just checking the data type of the numeric columns of the data frame, so you can see over here. Okay, so that's all, I think. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, that's it. I'll just upload this into the YouTube. Thank you.